time where the movie started, facing at a photo they've taken. Space tree flying through the skies and battles happen everywhere.
Hi guys, day 30, kind of a milestone. I didn't think I would last this long doing the daily vlog, but then I kept finding topics, kept finding things that I wanted to talk about, and one of these things that I wanted to do today, which is about the Osmo Pocket Stories. The Stories feature is a really great feature, but there are a few tips that I can give you which will help you make better stories. When the Osmo Pocket came out, before it came out in the reviews, they always had this stories feature, and every reviewer was talking about that in their reviews. But when the actual retail unit came out, there was no stories feature in the software, and everybody was like, "Oh, DJI!" I was like, "Yeah, I don't care," because I like to do my own editing anyway. But then they released it in a firmware update later on, and when I saw that, it was mind-blowing. It's a fantastic feature because it takes the shots, it plans the shots, and it adds the music to them, it adds the effects to them, and it creates a ready-made story within the size that you can post on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else on social media. So that way, it's like a very good feature for doing something quickly. For example, if you're out with your friends, you're in a great restaurant, you're in a great location, and then you want to post quickly that story because we all like to share. And then if you started to take the shots yourself and then you started to cut them and then you edit them, because everything is available on the mobile platform these days, you can actually have proper full featured LNEs, so non-NLEs, non-linear editors. So you can actually cut them and put the music to it and create a proper production yourself on the mobile phone. But if you are doing that, it will take you about 20-30 minutes at least, and that means you are being antisocial and not enjoying the location, not being with your friends. So Osmo Pocket can let you do all of that within a few seconds, with a few clicks, and then you can post it and be back within a minute to enjoy with your friends as well. And you can have the friends in the story. So if they can see the result right away, it's always exciting for people. So let's start with the tips. First tip is to get some distance, because what happens is if you connect the Osmo Pocket to your mobile phone using a wireless adapter, you don't get the stories feature. So have something where you can have the if you see the stories trailer as well, the stories feature, and then all those promo shots, there is none where they are doing something for themselves. There's always somebody else on the camera and somebody else holding the camera. But if you want to do it yourself, sometimes if either you are alone or you are the only one, you think you are the best person to do that, to do the story. So keep an extension cable with you so that you can connect it. And this will launch the DJI Mimo app, and then you can, I need to unlock this. And there's your stories button. Device disconnected. It's probably because of the case. Yeah. So you have the stories button right there now. So now you can start creating stories. Okay, I touched something. Okay. So my first tip is have and the extension cable with you, something thin that you can just put in your purse or pocket or something, and have the connector with you, obviously. And you can always have something like this, which is a small, it's like a handle for a camera, and it also becomes like a tiny little tripod. So even though it's small, it's very solid, and it's very good for the Osmo Pocket. So you can have something like this, or a Gorilla Pod, or a mini Gorilla Pod, anything, or you can actually put it somewhere else as well. But if you have the extension cable, then you can put the Osmo Pocket and the phone separately, because if you connect it together with the connector, it becomes a very unstable unit. You can't put it down somewhere, just forget about it and let it take the shots. So I would suggest that you at least have the cable with you all the time, so you can stand the Osmo Pocket on its own, and then it can do the shots. Okay, that's my first tip. First tip is to get some distance, and for that have the cable with you, and that way you can be on the screen as well. Let's talk about that in a second. your subjects, who is going to be your subject, who or what. So if let's say if you're in a restaurant with your friends and you want to take a picture, if you want to take a story of that, you will have some of your friends in there, yourself in there, the menu and the environment. So that's like your 4 shots, and you can plan those shots in your mind, like, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do. And for yourself, you can either give the camera to somebody for that shot, or you can have the extension cable and step away from the camera. Shots, you have to plan each shot as well. When you see the stories, let me show you the stories, this thing on the screen itself. When you see the stories mode, and it has multiple templates, so it's going to start making a noise as well. Yeah, so it's got all these templates. So as you can see, for each template, it shows you the kind of shots that will be in there. So count the number of shots and see what kind of effects are there, what kind of angles there are, how the gimbal is going to move for each shot. But you don't have to memorize that. When you start doing this story, when you do that, then you see this little tutorial. Can you see that? This little tutorial, this shows you the next shot, what the angle is going to be, how the camera is going to pan or move or tilt. So you can see that, and you can play this as many times as you want. So that's going to be my 3rd and 4th tip. So watch the tutorial of the shot here, and then point the camera accordingly to whatever your subject is. So for example, if the camera is going to go like this, then you might want to point it down at the table, and then you can have a sweeping shot of the menus, and some of the menus are very colorful and it might look good. Or you can have if the shot is going to be like this, going to come up like this, you can point the camera to the table, and then it will go up and it will show your friends on the screen. So that's my 3rd and 4th tip. Watch the tutorial and plan the shot. 5th tip is the countdown. For each shot, when you press it, it gives you a countdown: 3, 2, 1, start, and then it starts. So if you want to plan any kind of movement, any kind of action, so do that countdown. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and then whatever you're gonna do, you can do whatever. You smile, you're playing with your hair, kissing your friend, or whatever you want to do. So count that, and then you can have that action in there. And if you mess it up, this is not the end of the world. You can always retake it. There is an option to retake it. My bonus tip for this is that when you save it, it gives you an option to save. It saves that locally. After that, gives you the option to share. If you don't want to share it, you can just come out of the screen. It will ask you, are you sure you want to give up on saving and sharing? The saving is already done, and the saving has been done in your gallery in the album called DJI Mimo. So you won't see that in the DJI Mimo app. You'll have to go into your phone's gallery and you will find that video there. Okay. Let me show you a couple of examples of how these shots work. Let's suppose if I've got my guitar here, if I want to do a story on my guitar, how would I plan those shots and how would I take that?
Here I am where the movie started, facing at a photo they've taken. Space tree flying through the skies and petals happen everywhere.
So you see, that's the story on just the guitar by myself, just pointing the camera at the guitar. So, and if I want to do a story on myself, I can use that countdown to step away from the camera after I touch that record button. So let me give an example of that as well. So you see, it is possible to do a story by yourself in a solo mode, just you and the camera, and there's nobody else, but you can still use that countdown to step away, to have some actions, to do something based on that countdown. Okay, that's all my tips for this story. And if you have any other tips, if you have any other ideas, or if you have any questions about this, please feel free to hit me up in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Bye.